All right, let's get straight into it because there's a whole lot swirling around the Bronx right now. The New York Yankees are knee-deep in trade talks with the deadline approaching fast. And make no mistake, moves are coming. This is not going to be one of those quiet, sit-on-your-hands trade seasons. No, the Yankees know they've got holes to fill. And they're not going to just ride the current roster into October and hope for the best. There's too much on the line. This team has real World Series potential, but it's also clear that they need reinforcements in key areas. If they want to make that run a reality. And listen, it's not just fans speculating anymore. According to inside sources, including longtime league scouts and front office whispers, the Yankees have identified their biggest areas of need. We're talking bullpen arms, a reliable third baseman, and a right-handed bat for the outfield. These are not small tweaks. These are the kinds of upgrades that could shift the balance in the postseason. The bullpen, especially, has come under the spotlight. One scout even said there's only one truly dependable bullpen in the league right now, and that belongs to San Diego. So if the Yankees want to compete in late October, when games are decided by which reliever doesn't blink, first, they have to patch that up. The word is they're targeting a couple of solid names, and they're especially interested in adding a quality left-hander to balance out what has been an uneven group. Names that are surfacing include Danny Colombi, Keegan Akin, Gregory Soto, Reed Detmers, Yelen Beeks, and Jojo Romero. Some of these guys make more sense than others depending on how their teams are performing and what those teams are trying to do at the deadline. For instance, Colombi is having an unbelievable season. He's 38, sure, but age isn't a factor when you're shutting down lineups and putting up a sub-1 ERA. He's made over a dozen appearances, thrown about 20 innings, and racked up strikeouts while keeping runners off base. His ERA is microscopic, and his WHIP is just as tight. The Yankees could absolutely use a guy like that, someone dependable, someone who's been around the league, and someone who won't cost an arm and a leg in terms of prospect capital. Now, some might say, well, Tim Hill's already the lefty in the bullpen, but the issue is, he hasn't exactly been lights out. In fact, his recent outing against the Reds raised some eyebrows. And even if Ryan Yarbrough makes his way back to the pen soon, there's always the injury factor looming. You can't count on everyone staying healthy for the next 3 months. That's not how this game works, so adding another lefty reliever, especially one as consistent and sharp as Colombi has been this year, makes a ton of sense. The Twins are likely to be sellers anyway. They've been slipping, and Colombi isn't part of their long-term plans given his age. The time to sell is now, and the Yankees might be the perfect buyer. Yelen Beeks is another guy worth mentioning. The Diamondbacks are dealing with all kinds of bad luck this season, most recently a tough break with Corbin Carroll's injury. And there's a decent chance they'll listen to offers on pieces like Beeks. He's got a solid ERA under 3, is keeping walks in check, and has been used pretty regularly throughout the year. He's got a little more control than some of the other guys, and you'd be adding a steady left-handed option. That doesn't necessarily come with the same risk as others. Would I take Colombi over Beeks? Probably, based on recent dominance alone, but if Beeks is available for a fair price, that's a strong fallback. Now let's pivot to third base because this is another area where the Yankees are keeping their eyes wide open. One of the most interesting names tied to them is Eugenio Suarez. The veteran slugger is exactly the type of player who could thrive in Yankee Stadium. Power from the right side, solid glove at the hot corner, and playoff experience. You check all those boxes and it's hard not to see the fit. He's already got 25 home runs this season, and he's putting up respectable numbers in terms of average and OPS. He's not going to win a batting title, but that's not what the Yankees are after. They need a guy who can drive in runs, protect Judge in the lineup, and give them something reliable on the left side of the infield. The Diamondbacks, meanwhile, are in a weird spot. They've got talent, they're not out of the race completely, but with all the injuries piling up and their pitching depth running thin, there's a real argument to be made that they should retool now and focus on next season. That means moving a guy like Suarez. While his value is still high, he's got enough upside that teams will call, and the Yankees have the minor league assets to make something happen. It wouldn't be cheap, but it also wouldn't gut the farm. And when you factor in how Suarez could stabilize that infield and shift someone like Jazz Chisholm back to his natural position at second base, you're not just making one position better, you're improving two at once. And let's not forget the outfield. This might not be priority number 1, but it's still a discussion worth having. The Yankees are lefty-heavy out there. You've got Bellinger, you've got Grisham, you've got Dominguez, who's a switch hitter but favors the left side. Outside of Aaron Judge, you're not getting a ton of right-handed pop from that group. That's where a guy like Adolis Garcia could become a factor. No, he's not tearing the cover off the ball this year, but let's not have short memories. This is the same dude who went nuclear in the 2023 postseason. He's got power. He's got a cannon of an arm, and he knows what October baseball feels like. That kind of experience and ceiling doesn't just vanish. He's had a bit of a down year, but there have been signs of life lately. His numbers in June are up, and he's showing that same spark that made him such a force a couple seasons ago. Now the Rangers aren't likely to have a full-on fire sale, but Garcia is approaching the end of his arbitration years, and if Texas wants to reshuffle the deck a bit without losing value, this could be the moment to move him. The Yankees wouldn't need to blow anyone away with an offer, and it could be a win-win for both sides. Again, not a must-have move, but if the opportunity rises and the price is right, it's worth exploring. One thing that stands out through all of this, and it's something every Yankee fan should feel good about, is that the front office is being aggressive. This isn't a passive deadline for New York. Brian Cashman and his team know that standing still isn't an option. The competition is fierce. The Orioles are loaded. The Rays always find ways to stay competitive. The Astros might not be what they once were, but they're still lurking. If the Yankees want to avoid another early playoff exit, they need to make noise now. Not in August, not in September. Now. And remember, the bullpen is where games are won and lost in October. You can mash all the homers you want in the regular season, but if you don't have arms who can get big outs in tight spots, it's over. The Yankees have seen that firsthand. That's why someone like Colombi or Beeks could be so important. And if they really want to solidify the infield, Suarez just makes too much sense. The fit is the perfect, and if there's an opening for Garcia and the Yankees want to buy low and bet on a bounce back, why not? He's got postseason hero written all over him, and look, no one's saying Giancarlo Stanton is the answer in the outfield. He's basically glued to the designated hitter role at this point. So adding another righty outfielder who can hit and field, that's just smart baseball. The Yankees have an opportunity here to not just make the playoffs, but to really set themselves up for a deep run. The core is in place. Judge is playing at an MVP level. The rotation has been solid. The lineup is doing its job more often than not. But they need that extra push, a couple of key arms, a legit third baseman, and maybe a spark in the outfield. That's what could take them from good to great, from hopeful to dangerous. We'll get into more of the specifics around some of these names in just a bit, and believe me, there's more to talk about. Relievers, trade packages, maybe even a surprise name or two, but the big picture is this: the Yankees are ready to strike. They've identified their needs, they've got targets in mind, and all signs point to them being one of the most active teams as the deadline nears. Now, before we wrap things up, let's circle back to something that can't be overlooked. The Yankees aren't the only buyers in the market. That means they can't afford to play it safe or move slow. Other contenders, the Dodgers, Braves, even surprise teams like the Guardians, are all sniffing around the same group of players. And in this kind of trade environment, hesitation kills deals. It's a race, and sometimes it's about who pulls the trigger first, not who offers the flashiest package. That's why timing is everything right now. If the Yankees want guys like Colombi or Suarez, they'll need to move before someone else does. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers are swirling through the baseball world as Anthony Volpe, one of the New York Yankees' most promising young stars, reportedly contemplates an unexpected departure from the Bronx Bombers. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the situation suggest that Volpe's exit could be on the horizon, sending shockwaves through the Yankees fanbase and the MLB community alike. Anthony Volpe, who quickly earned recognition for his impressive skills at shortstop and his undeniable potential, has been a key figure in the Yankees' rebuilding phase. Known for his speed, defensive prowess, and emerging power at the plate, Volpe was once seen as a cornerstone for the team's future. Yet, recent murmurs hint at growing dissatisfaction behind the scenes, fueling speculation that the talented infielder might seek new opportunities beyond Yankee Stadium. The reasons behind such a potential move remain unclear, but insiders point to a mixture of factors. Contract negotiations could be a sticking point. as the young player's representatives reportedly push for terms that reflect Volpe's rising status, which may be difficult for the Yankees to accommodate within their current payroll strategy. Moreover, the team's evolving roster and the shifting priorities of the front office might not align perfectly with Volpe's ambitions or his desired role, adding to the intrigue. Rumors suggest that other MLB teams are already showing interest in acquiring Volpe, envisioning him as a vital piece for their own future success. Clubs known for aggressive rebuilding or those looking to strengthen their infield depth could make compelling offers, sparking what could turn into a bidding war for the coveted shortstop. Yankees fans are naturally divided by this speculation. Some believe Volpe's departure would be a huge loss, potentially derailing the club's momentum and leaving a void that would be hard to fill. Others argue that if the player feels undervalued or misaligned with the team's direction, it might be best for both parties to part ways, allowing Volpe to flourish elsewhere and the Yankees to pursue new talent better suited to their vision. In the broader scope of the MLB offseason, Volpe's rumored exit adds a layer of uncertainty and excitement. The Yankees have a long history of high-profile trades and roster shakeups, and this potential move fits the narrative of constant reinvention that defines the franchise. Whether this is just talk or the beginning of a seismic shift remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, all eyes will be on Anthony Volpe and the Yankees in the coming weeks. As the story unfolds, for now, fans and analysts alike are left to speculate and wonder if the promising shortstop, who once seemed destined to wear pinstripes for years, might soon be calling another city home. The baseball world waits with bated breath. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.